Alright, I think we're almost ready to make a move. If I remember correctly, the things we need to do is check the news. And have a look at our cities. That's the other thing we need to do. And it looks like we've got a series of diplomatic dispatches as well. So what order shall we look in these in? Well, first of all, let's take a look at our own situation and see how things are. Benfey. Pardon me. 1.5 million. Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely not going to read all of this. Not a chance. City of Grapes, 0.2 million. Agriculture node, 1.8 million. Yes. Alright. Rather than going through all of those, which would be extremely tedious, let's just hit the capitals and see. We've got some reports and some briefings. Interesting. And same over here. Report, very good. That means this is a report and that's a report as well. I see, so the game will be reading these reports and deciding what to do about them. Maybe we'll be presented with conundrums. That would be good. I'm going to declare this as our capital city. I think that's right. So that's where we're going to start. And I also want to do these briefings that the other countries are sending us. I think the order of priority for us will be read the news up here, and then once we've read the news, maybe that will give us some insight into these, and we'll do those 4 briefings, and then once we've run through all of those and sorted out our country, then we'll do the diplomatic briefings from all of the opposing countries to see what we can figure out. And then, once we've done that, let's see if there's a next turn button. Wowee, this is one complex game. Okay, read the report from Holsword, logistical issues. The Mayor of Holsword reports the rising population and fast urban expansion, blah blah blah. The Mayor reported that the absence of a well-designed, large land-based logistics centre where all transporters come together is one of the greatest problems for domestic transporters, because Holsword is a big metropolis. Alright, so we're in a logistics hub. Very good. Do you want to write this down for me? Jeepers. Alright, I suppose I'd better do it. Two, General Staff gathers. The General Staff convened right after the election to congratulate our victory. All branches from the Swedish armed forces were represented in the meeting that took place at Camp Strongarm with massive security measures. The Chief of the Armed Forces, Valken Kruger, made a public press statement highlighting the increasing chances of a military confrontation in eastern Merkopa and thanked us for the promise to strengthen and support the military. Very good. Strengthen and support the military. We know that we need to do that already. It's a easy decision. Now, what else have we got? Briefing on the current political situation. Office of the President. Peter Vectorn arrived a couple of minutes early and sat across from me. He was struggling to hold back his smile. Let it out, buddy. We did it, Anton. We won. Finally, the bribery, the backstabbing. It has all paid off. Peter's eyes sparkled. The strain of his past months had put a damper on his usual rakish charm, but today he was looking and acting more like his old self. He loosened his tie and undid the top 2 buttons of his shirt. Enjoying the new secretary I picked out for you? Thought you'd appreciate her gorgeous set of talents. It's a shame the rest of your staff aren't as easy on the eyes. Peter, you old dog. He gestured to the slight paunch that protruded over his waistband. But hey, back in university, did you ever imagine we would be sitting here in the Maroon Palace? We have to celebrate this great victory. What a great idea. Let's celebrate then. I got my hands on something special for us, an Ullery Maroon 30-year-old. We will celebrate at the inaugural ball, just hang in there until the evening. This is not the time to celebrate, Peter. We have work to do. An Ullery Maroon. I'm assuming that's a whiskey of some kind. Fantastic. Yeah. The 1924, that was my freshman year, also the year after the revolution. Difficult times, to be honest, but this smells like heaven. And you're preaching to the converted there, mate. The future awaits, that's right. And a toast. I raised my glass. He seemed to be enjoying himself. All right. We wouldn't get much done. Remember the last administration? We can't make the same mistakes again. Good point. We learned from it all. Yes, we did. The door swung open, and Lucien Gallard, my chief strategist, walked in. He was a compact man with sharp, bird-like features. After briefly surveying the room from wall to wall, he sat down, poured a glass of water, and opened his briefcase in a series of quick, graceful movements. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Gentlemen. The tall case clock in the room struck 3 o'clock. Damn, you are exactly on time. Hello, Peter. Lucien then turned towards me. He very slightly bowed his head. How are you? Yes, pleasantries, good. It is a privilege to be here, sir. Lucien spoke in soft, clipped tones that immediately drew your attention towards what he had to say. Peter and I waited for him to proceed. We will start the meeting by evaluating the current situation. Great. The majority of the Swedish people demand change. They are more concerned about the economy than the constitution, but they blame the system for their problems. Fair enough too. People are losing their trust in our democracy. This frustration causes some to reason with figures like Bernard Kurkas. It is expected that we bring the change the last government did not. Well, it's certainly my intention. Frans Richter, leader of the reformists, believes that true change can only be done by transferring some of our powers to the Assembly. I will move into the details of their demands shortly. Well, very slim chance of that, fellow. I agree with the reformists. Our responsibility is to democratise our current broken system. I think that will only slow down the rate at which we can adapt to the changes in the economy. 2, we need to listen to the people if we want to serve this country. Well, that's certainly we will be keeping an idea of what their perspective is. 3, if we lose power as the government, we won't be able to execute necessary changes for the good of the country. Exactly, that's right. It may create issues for us, yes. However, with the reformists gaining more popularity, we may not be in a position to stand against them. Yes, but as long as we hold the Supreme Court and the House and the Maroon Palace, I think we'll be alright. Mr. Richter managed to influence many members of Assembly to give their support for drafting a new constitution. Reformist politicians are quickly increasing in number. While the reformist wing inside our party is still a minority, they could have a tripartisan majority in the Assembly, especially if they unite under Frans Richter. That is troubling. I think we might be able to turn their constituencies against each other. USP reformists aren't wrong to agree that we need change, but we should be in charge. Mr. Richter could be a potential ally in our goal to maintain a majority in the Assembly. That is not happening. Our party must fall in line with our position in the near future, we can't have a strong divide. This one, I think. Yes, we should be in charge. We can't let the PFJP leadership take the spotlight on this. The reformist demands are clear. They want to limit the president's veto powers. Tut tut, can't have that. Ensure the Supreme Court is independent. No, I'm not going to do that either. And take away their right to vote on constitutional amendments. No, because at the moment the Supreme Court is under the control of one of our constituencies. So we're going to maintain things just the way they are. Thank you very much. We will shape our own future. That looks like a good one for us. We must listen to their demands, otherwise we're no different from the previous administrations. Excuse me, not at all. We're different from the previous administrations. That's just a fact. And do I support the reformists? No. Alright, 3 it is. I agree, sir. Very good. The old guards will do their best to preserve the Constitution. Chief Justice Hawker and his allied judges have a great influence over the Supreme Court, which would be tough to break. Exactly correct. The court also has an abrupt power over constitutional legislation. Without their approval, we cannot even change it. We'll need a comprehensive bill to balance the power structure more fairly. Well, if fairly means in our favour, then I can see how that could happen, but seeing as I'm not sure that that's what I'm going to mean if I say that, I'll be very tentative about that option. We must break the power of the Supreme Court one way or another. No, I don't feel like that's a priority for us. I'd rather not go against them because it poses high risks. Yes, that's right. I definitely don't want to turn the backbone of the support of our party against us. Ooh, it's champagne. Okay, what was I saying? I'd rather not go against them. It poses high risks, that's right. So long as the Nationalist Party doesn't turn against us. We can't let the old guards manipulate us and then backstab us like we did with Alfonso. That's true. Looks like we have many challenges ahead. We cannot allow obstructionists to exist. We can't underestimate this situation. It looks like we have many challenges ahead. That's true, we do hold the majority. However, to reform the Constitution, we must receive a 2/3 majority in the Grand National Assembly, which is 166 votes, and a simple majority in the Supreme Court that equates to 6 votes. After we have settled our thoughts on how to proceed, we will need to talk with our party figures. Our first goal must be to get the 150 signatures needed to start the process. Following the green light from the USP, we will reach out to the other party leaders to see if they would back our draft, and then the last step is to convince the justices of the court. The entire process will take a long time, but we must start working with the Reform Committee to evaluate all possibilities for a new constitution as soon as possible. We will write a more democratic constitution with the reformists. The new constitution would give the president wide-ranging powers to lead Suzerain into the future. 3, we could work with the old guard to protect our existing extensive powers. Yes. How? There are many people who want us to enact extensive reforms, and how do we know that the old guard would support you? Oh, I'll talk them around. Don't you worry about that. If we go against the demands of the people, the reformists would be furious. It could backfire. We can handle it. The previous governments did too. It will be a dangerous path to follow. Well, that is fine. Why would you want to work with the old guards? Only a strong administration can make Swordland great. I need to maintain my powers. Without the Solists' support, we have no power. I need to maintain my powers. Only a strong administration can make Swordland great. That's really the diplomatic way to say it, the third one, isn't it? Even though they're all much the same. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Get with the program. Good. And what about you, Peter? Well, let's see what we can do about it. Fantastic. Let us at least work with the Reform Committee to start talking with all stakeholders in the Assembly and the Court just to query opinions. I'll try to reach out to the old guard in the meantime. More information about the request. So part of the reason why I'm manoeuvring in this way is because I believe that the old guard will, in terms of the members of the Supreme Court who are part of the old guard faction, will prioritise the short-term power they can gain from working with us now over the long-term power that they could theoretically build up slowly over time by supporting their own faction, because remember their faction I think is the third largest in the House. Anyway, more information about the request of each party's and reform contents will be available later this year. Then we can make the final choice whether to reform or not. Lucian took notes. Another important point, we must be aware of the Lotharberg Group. The oligarchs convene under this organisation to influence economic policies. Conrath led it for a long time. According to the report, some members of the National Business Council are in their pockets. The group under the leadership of Walter Tusk will surely try to bribe us for their special economic interests. Let's see. I want to work with them anyway. The new administration will be open to talk to business people. Yes, absolutely, of course. I won't be bought. It won't happen. This is politics. There's no space for purity. I will enter a dialogue with them eventually. We need to be diplomatic. We won't let these privileged, greedy and snobby capitalists run the country. Yes, certainly not like they do now, have always done and always will do. No, no, no. Alright, number one. Thank you. It's always easier for the administration to have their support. Exactly. My thoughts exactly, Lucian. As far as I know, Marcel Coronti. Marcel Coronti has some strong ties to this group, and we may try using his influence if we deem it necessary. He will want something from us for sure. Now, part of the reason why I'm bringing them on side is because I want to be able to use their power as a bargaining chip when it comes to making the larger negotiations for the trade deals that we're going to do later on. One, I am aware of Mr. Coronti's wide network. That could come in handy, certainly true. They're an important force, one that we should use to our administration's advantage. That's also true. That group is dependent on our economic policies. They can't move a finger without us. Well, I certainly want that to be true. Tusk is heading the group. We should make sure he is on our side. Tut tut tut. What do we make of this? There's not a lot of difference between some of these choices. I guess this is the vaguest one, so that covers the broadest spectrum of possible meaning. We'll take that. They will only side with us if they see clear benefits, and even then the leadership of the group is a determining factor. We need to tread carefully on all sides with all power players to survive our term. I need to underline the seriousness of the situation. Our election campaign promised to focus on the military, and this was a safe choice. The military and the general staff is a powerful element in the state, and as history tells us, a dangerous one too. Yeah, I should bloody hope so. Okay. The military can be close allies, and with the Rumberg threat on the horizon, we need them. Yes, that is true. 2. The Swedish armed forces represent our pride as a nation and will be funded as promised. Okay, also true. Pardon me, that was disgraceful. Shouldn't have to put up with that kind of thing. 3. I don't want to die in prison just like Arthur S. Wish he did. Well, yeah, sure. However, it is the threat on the horizon that is really the thing. That is the big thing for us. Obviously, national pride and funding is important, but that's the option that we're going to choose because that's what's most important for us. Our highest priority is staving off the largest military threat. Rumberg is a massive threat, one that also requires us to ally with other stronger nations. My thoughts exactly, Lucian. I knew there was a reason I hired you. Defence Minister Yosef Lankea is more loyal to us compared to General Kruger, a fact that obviously can change with our actions. Either way, I see a potential rift between the two since they are clearly of different minds. Well, let's see what their positions are before we make any rash judgments. If we act strongly against the military, the two will unite against us. I agree with Lucian, we need to tread carefully with the military. How carefully could we possibly need to tread? We're going to give them heaps of money and a job to do. What more could they possibly want? Lucian looked at his watch. Well then, gentlemen, precisely 30 minutes. This concludes our political briefing for today. Our next meeting will be about our media strategy. Talk to you soon, sir. I'll keep in touch. See you. Yes, formalities. Farewell, farewell. Well, I feel like that was a good wee banter that we had with them. Oh, wow, look at this. Okay. There is a lot going on. Perhaps I should sort out some of the news before we get back to the briefings. Plus all of the foreign notes that we need to look at as well. You have 10 unread newspapers. Wow, Why don't I just actually get a job as a foreign policy advocate? Analyst. We're just going to do the headlines for these, obviously. I'm not going to spend all day reading the newspapers to you. You could read the actual newspapers and learn something. Learn some lies appropriate to the real world as opposed to some lies appropriate to a fictional world. That would be good. The Whole Sword Post, Committee for Reforms. Rain spoke of unity. That's good, I did. That's right. Sutherland today. President Anton Rain. That's right. We certainly did. La Haven Times. Support in Assembly grows for a campaign finance bill. Swedish National League starts season. Come on, our boys. That's right. The new Assembly begins duty. Good. Wait, we have communists in our party? Excuse me? The Communist Party of Swordland and the Workers' Party of Bludia both won just below 10% of the vote, failing to pass the 10% election threshold. Now, mind you, I suppose these are old school communists, not the kind we have today. Economists, restructure the infrastructure. Absolutely. Recent successful mega infrastructure projects from United Contana and Valsland. Yes, we're definitely going to do that. End Solonomics. Cool, and Geopolitico. Rumburg coming south. Our foreign policy analysts who are reviewing the recent aggressive military and diplomatic developments of Rumburg have come to the conclusion it's highly likely that Rumburg will keep trying to push further south, threatening the territories of Swordland, Valen, and possibly Agnolia. The annexation of Dome many decades ago was just the beginning. Rumburg seems to be on a quest to secure all strategic resources in East Merkapa. We'll fight them to a bloody standstill if that's what's necessary. They will have nothing from us. Very good. We managed to rip through those newspapers pretty quick. Do they have a diplomatic for us? They do not. I bet these briefings are them quaking in their boots and calling for military. Low production. That is terrible. Alright, we definitely need to get them working. And lack of investment. Yes, we are keen to invest. Don't you worry about that. Okay, what have we got over here? Read the report from Agnolia. Congratulations from PM Van Houten. He signalled his wishes to continue the trade partnership between our countries as equal partners, as opposed to earlier trade deals which he believes gave Swordland unfair advantages. Ha! Ho ho ho! Yes, well, we'll see about that, won't we? We will send him a letter saying we absolutely, definitely agree with it. We will certainly do that to the best of our ability. And then when it comes to the negotiations, we're going to stamp on their neck to wring every dollar from them that we can. Congratulations from Chancellor Hagel. Whoa! Big names. Good. He congratulated the Swedish democracy for the successful elections and warned us about the threat of Arcasia's growing influence poses for Eastern Merkava. Now, where is Arcasia? Is that the one that's down here? Failing. Alright. Oh, dear me. No. Okay. Republic of Valen says, congratulations. Normalised diplomatic situation between the two countries. Yes, we will attempt to do that, as we've discussed. We want to have peace with these two countries. And this is the big one. Alvarez congratulated us, sent his best wishes to the Swordish people and warned us about the threat from the encroaching Maleniavist influence of United Contana from the east, emphasising the importance of unity in our continent. Merkapa. Aha! That is exactly what I want to hear. So it sounds like they might be able to come on board for some sort of alliance. And if that's the case, that will be fantastic. If we can normalise relations with Valen, gain the alliance with Lesbien, get a excellent trade treaty with the Republic of Agnolia. Now remember I said we were going to try to crush them in the trade deal, but there is a circumstance in which we would not do that. We would be happy to trade advantage in the trade deal to bring about a true trade, equal normalisation, high quality trade treaty if they were prepared to spend a certain percentage of their GDP on military forces and station them close to the border here. Even set up a military, we would encourage a base here, even though that puts them in a strong position against our land, because it relieves us from the need to protect this particular section. That would be worthwhile. Yeah, it would be a bargaining chip for use for us, definitely. And we've got some other reports here. Let's quickly snap through these. Loses importance. What? That's terrible. No. That has to be remedied. We need our ports to be running top notch. Worst hit region in Swordland due to the economic recession. Yes, that's terrible. We are definitely going to try and fix that. Just hold on. Hold on, lads. Once we halve the minimum wage, you're all going to have work. Alright. So that's right, we've done everything now, haven't we? We can get back to just running the capital city until other things come along. I think so. Alright, good. Let's continue. Public opinion report. People's views on the need for democratic reform in the government structure has changed over the last decade. Reformist propaganda from the leader of the People's Freedom and Justice Party, Franz Richter, the vile worm, have resulted in a massive increase in the demands for democratic reforms. It is estimated that currently 55% of the population supports the reformist ideas. Well, in that case, we do need to throw them a bone of some variety. We need to have at least one thing that we can point to and say, these reforms that you begged so hard for, we've put them in place, and what do we get for it? Just your scorn. How can we be expected to cooperate with people of this type, and all of that kind of bluster. Alright, this is our media strategy meeting. Very good. Yes. Let's begin. Marcel Coronti contacted you. The Corontis had always been known as one of the richest and most influential families in Swordland. Coronti was no exception, eldest son of Conrath Coronti, the industrialist and mega mogul who founded HOS, richest man in the entirety of Swordland. He turned to me and he has offered to meet with you, Mr. President. Fantastic. Why should I meet with him? Why is Conrath sending his son? What does he want? Why should I meet with him? Well, that's foolish. I know why I want to meet with him. Why is Conrath sending his son? Yes, that does seem to be a power move. I would really prefer it if he came to see me himself. What does he want? That is important. Alright, let's do that one. What does he want? After the passing of his father, may he rest in peace, Marcel aims to become the next CEO of the HOS conglomerate. He mentioned a productive collaboration. Excellent news. They are a powerful and influential media conglomerate. To start with, they own the Swordland Today newspaper, the Swordish Broadcasting Corporation. Which means it would be wise to have them by our side. Sorry for interrupting. Sounds like there's potential here. What does this productive collaboration entail? And we will receive a phone call from him. Very good. As Petra said, they have substantial power over the content of the media outlets. Headlines, radio shows, that is what he would be offering. What he wants in return is what we need to understand. Yes, exactly. What is our general approach to the media? There are two ways we can approach them. One of them is by influencing it, which has clear advantages, and the other one is keeping it independent. Yes. Yes. This is a tough decision. The media must be independent, or the media is a tool to be used. Well, what I don't want to do is bring the media under my heel, because that will be obvious and it will turn the public against us very likely. On the other hand, the media, if it was independent, would likely say some bad things about us, but that's fine. We don't really care about that so long as it's not under the control of one of our enemies. That would be where the real danger comes in. However, if we have one of the major media conglomerate men on side, we can probably just give him a little elbow nudge whenever we really need to lose a story from the national consciousness. And aside from that, we'll generally run it independent. So I guess what I'm trying to say is we should put $1 each way. So I'm going to say we'll go independent. And part of the thing that interests me is whether or not the Corontes, or whatever they're called, will whether they want to have an independent newspaper organisation or not, or even if that's really an option. He might show up and say, look, it's never been independent and it's never going to be while it's under my rule, in which case, sadly, we'll have to move into the tool-using version. An unpopular leader will not be able to pass even the easiest reforms. It is of utmost importance to maintain the public popularity and avoid any damaging scandals or mistakes. The more people we have on our side supporting our agenda, the more we can accomplish. With someone on our side in an influential media organisation, we can do this very easily. Yeah, fantastic. I see what you're getting at. We can always hope for the best. Do we really think that nothing can go wrong, especially considering the near-term history of Swordsland? Please come in. My new secretary, Livia Suno. Her dark curls bounced as she crossed the room to my desk. She spoke with a slight lilt in her voice. Excuse me, Mr. Presidente. Mr. Galada's secretary has been calling me and wanted me to relay a message. The Coronte is on the line. Fantastic. Well, let's talk to him. Yes, I will do the negotiations. Fantastic. Thank you. Yes. Oof, bit of a visual novel, this one. Hello, Marcel. Greetings, Mr. Rain. Yes, fantastic. Here we are. Now, here's the meat. My strategy in the running of this conglomerate will be different than my father's approach. This is why I'm offering a partnership deal regarding our media branch. I would like to formally invite you to my resort near Coryat for a meeting to discuss the details. Thank you for your offer. I would be interested. You will not be disappointed, I promise. Fantastic. All right, let's go. I'll see you later. Great, well that looks like things are coming along quite nicely. And there's a bunch of banter here as well. Good work, keep it up. We're already getting the attention of key and potentially dangerous figures. Well, that's to be expected. Pardon me. Oof. Alright. Let's read the news and then knock this one on the head, and then we can get back to it next week. 3 unread papers. Yes, we mourn his passing, that is true. Glamorous inaugural ball. Very nice. Good chance to get dressed up. Here we go, regional trade. As the Reign administration starts its first term, there is a question in all of our heads. What will be the regional international trade policy? Due to the strategic geopolitical location of Swordsland, historically Agnolia and Valen have been natural trading partners. Can I? No. Here we go. Valen and Agnolia. Interesting. Oops. Let's get back to it. That's right. No, not with each other, both of them with us, of course. Right. Depending on the direction of the Rain administration, we think it is likely that a new trade deal will be brokered with at least one of these partners in the near term. Both of them, good sir, both of them. All in all, regardless of which trading partners the administration decides to go with, one thing is for sure, regional trade will boost the ailing economy. Absolutely, that's why it's of critical importance. The real question is, what does Valgsland or Lesbia think about Swordland? Well, we definitely want to get a Lesbian trade treaty is going as well, if we can. And what was the other one? Valgland, yes please, fantastic. As many trade treaties as possible. If we have more trade treaties than the other guys, then every fiscal year we are gaining advantage in terms of like total efficiency of trade against everybody else, which is fantastic. Alright, good run everybody. Let's wrap it up, and I'll see you next time.